Hello, hello, welcome or welcome back. Let's sit back, relax, have a snack, and enjoy. Sit at My Grave, Season 4, Sanity or Salvation, Chapter 15. We have to get him formula. He can't live like this. Desperate cries erupted from the mother as she tried to rock her child. Have you tried feeding him again? Her husband suggested nervously. I can't! There's nothing else coming out! What are we gonna do? We can't let him die out here, Tyler! She yelled again, her baby fussing more as he squirmed around. I told you, Claire. Some guys gave me a job sweeping. It won't be long before I climb up the ladder. I just need a few more days to prove myself. Tyler tried to soothe her. No! He needs to eat now! I've been begging all day, and we still don't have enough! Claire exclaimed. She looked down at her son, crying from hunger, tears falling from her own eyes. Do we give him up? Arden heard the last sad whispers as he worked up the courage, easing further to where they were. Here, $20. Arden spoke quietly. He placed it down to them. They both halted speaking before Tyler got up and grabbed him to a hug, taking Arden by surprise. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Thank you, Tyler exclaimed. Arden stood stiff. Was the most warm-done person he felt out in the cold for a while. Gave Tyler a slow pat to the back before he released him, wiping tears from his eyes. Claire worked like a flash. She put her son down, grabbed an old water bottle, cleaning her face and hands. She threw off her musty coat, trying to look her best before grabbing the money. I'm going to the store right now, Claire quickly told Tyler. She stopped, looking at Arden before also hugging him, her skinny frame shaking. Thank you, she whispered in his ear before she fled off. Every time we tried to get on our feet, we had to buy things for the baby and ourselves. It's hard trying to look presentable and keep a job, while making sure he isn't missing out on what he needs. It's so difficult lately, especially with it getting so cold. We were starting to lose hope. Tyler offered some explanation as he slowly scooped his son up at him. Arden swallowed nervously. He didn't feel he was owed their life story. All he gave was $20. Good luck, Arden told him, watching as Tyler cradled his son. Thank you. Seriously. Blessings to you wherever you go, Tyler told him, a warm smile on his face. Arden nodded before walking off, taking his luggage with him. Even with the cold air, Arden could still feel a lingering warmth on him. His brain was quiet for a moment as he walked the long stretch. If only he learned sooner. The thought tickled at his brain briefly before he stuffed it away, now thinking, this night just got a whole lot longer finding his way home. The work itself wasn't as grueling as getting to the jobs and finding places to stay until the next one started. With the money he had, he tried to clean himself up and act in person for odd jobs at whatever business he came across in his travels. He had to work for less than a normal salary just to be considered, but any amount was better than what he had. Eventually, Arden made the amount he needed. It was a little over $100, using a bit of it just to get himself to the train station. Arden stood, clinging his luggage, his hand pressed to where his traveling buddy was resting inside. He could feel his nerves flare as he got there. While working, he tried to keep his focus on that and that alone, but now as he was reaching one of his goals, the bigger ones were becoming too glaring to ignore any longer. Arden could faintly hear the squeak of his shoes as he entered the area. His mouth gaped slightly as he took it in, and the shiny granite flooring to where the early morning's light shined through the windows lined up above, and the crisscross of the metallic roof. Further forward was where the train tracks were laid. There was an arch structured over where it would soon come to a stop and wait on its passengers. Right beside the wall, near the stairs Arden had climbed down from, were cold metal seats. Some had the paint chipped off, while others could be seen with gum peeking from the bottom. A huge clock set above where the chairs were lined up, along with the map of the station. Arden checked the time before finding a decent seat to sit in, resting his luggage near him. He swallowed, pushing the saliva down his dry throat, sinking into himself. There were people littered around the place, some having an uncomfortable sleep in those chairs, while others paced back and forth, some content in just standing, waiting on the train. I'm sorry, sir. This is a no-access zone for you, Martin heard. He glanced up from hanging his head down, seeing a man in a uniform guarding another area, while a customer backed off, cussing at him. I paid for a ticket! You don't expect me to sit in those chairs, do you? He fussed, adjusting his tie as he stared him down. The exchange began, getting a few other eyes on it as they continued to argue. If you don't want those chairs, you would need to purchase access into our lounges, he explained, watching the customer's eyes narrow at him. I bought a ticket. That should be enough. This is a work trip. I don't need to show up achy and tired, he continued, putting his finger up at the employee. Maybe you should have booked business class. This is only for people willing to pay, the employee once again stated, folding his arms in front of the area. The customer continued to cuss him out before storming off. Arden tensed up. As much as he had to be around people, he still felt so out of practice. Little fits of aggression like that would have annoyed him before. Now he was just getting wildly uncomfortable, glancing at them and looking away. Not every altercation ended in tragedy. He should know that, but something about it now made his stomach quiver. Soon, it was time to board. People in the lounge had got notified first and were asked inside ahead of the others. Arden had tried his best to keep any accidental eye contact down by looking away as people passed, waiting on his and the rest of his passengers' class to stuff themselves in. Inside, the train was much different than the planes Arden had flown on. For one, it looked a lot bigger. Arden noticed the long walkway once he got to the coach area. There were more doors he'd seen upon finding his assigned seat, which most likely led to the next cars. His bags were taken to the storage cart, much to Arden's internal panic, but he knew if he kept asking questions, he'd most likely look more suspicious than he already did, so he had to let them go. Arden sat in his seat, which he learned was disgustingly right next to another. Most of them in his row were like this, 2 seats together. Even those traveling with friends or family weren't lucky enough to sit with them, thanks to the boarding decisions. The person next to Arden thankfully looked worn out and barely acknowledged him as he sat down and leaned against the wall. The only issue was the snoring that started soon after. Arden tried to distract himself with this pamphlet that doubled as a map. It had rules on it too. No playing anything out loud, no throwing trash around. They didn't recommend running any either. There was also strict times for getting meals at the food cart. There were more options than the plane, Arden noticed, but his class didn't get nearly all the perks of the ones above him up to first class. There was a whole area he most likely wouldn't see, with roomettes and bedrooms. It was interesting to read about, but Arden didn't care much for the comfort of luxury right now. He felt crowded and strained, eyeing people and quickly looking away. Space wasn't a big issue, but he couldn't stop feeling suffocated. He had to be here, honestly. Traveling alone on the roadside felt less grating than this. He'd made a decision that ended someone else's life, and now he sat in public like he belonged. Arden shifted in his seat again, rubbing his fingers through his shaggy hair. He had to stop looking so jumpy and suspicious, but he just couldn't stop thinking. Where's Josiah? I did what I was told. Why won't he speak to me? Arden's repeated worry was the question always overflooding everything.